So hello students, today we are going to see the working principle of our so-called synchronous generator. Okay, we know that synchronous generator can also be called as an alternator, and it is capable of generating AC power with a specific frequency. So the operating principle is similar to DC machine, DC generator. Okay, that is Faraday's electromagnetic induction. Okay, what is electromagnetic induction? So we need to create some relative motion between a conductor and a magnetic field. Okay, that is possible in two ways. Okay, we can create relative speed between conductors and magnetic field in two ways. The first one is, if you can rotate the coil with respect to the magnetic field, you can create the relative speed between coil and magnetic field. And the second one is by rotating magnetic field. So by rotating the magnetic field, we are going to have relative speed between rotating magnetic field and the coil. Okay, so in DC machine, this was the method used, the DC generator. Okay, coil was rotated, the armature was placed on the rotor, and that means the coil is armature. Okay, armature was placed on the rotor and it is rotated, and the stationary flux will cut with the rotating conductor, and EMF will be induced in the DC generator. But in case of our AC generator, okay, this is the method we use. Okay, I have already told you that armature is placed on the stator side and field is placed on the rotor side. That means field is rotating here, because field is placed on the rotor, field will be rotated and coil will be stationary. Okay, the red color ones are rotating here and blue color ones are stationary. Okay, in our AC generator, the field is rotating, but the armature is stationary. Okay, this is the type of generation we are using in our AC generator. Okay, now let us see the operation. And we know that our synchronous machine is a doubly excited machine. That means we are going to excite the rotor with magnetic DC supply, and the stator is connected to AC line. Okay, so how can you supply DC to the rotor? Supply DC. Okay, and let us assume it as a generator. This is generator. Okay, so we have to supply rotor with DC supply. Okay, let us assume the red color one is rotor. Okay, and we are going to give mechanical energy as input, as it is prime mover, as it is generator. Okay, I am going to give mechanical energy as input to the shaft of the generator. Okay, that will rotate rotor. On the same shaft, I am going to place a DC shunt generator. Okay, so this will generate DC supply. Okay, actually in the rotor this will generate AC supply, right? But we will be having commutator. Okay, we will be having commutator. Okay, that will convert this AC to DC, and we are going to collect this DC current and we are going to supply this to our rotor of synchronous generator. Okay, here you can see, here this is plus and this is minus. Okay, this will be connected to our rotor circuit. Okay, this is our rotor winding now. Okay, this will be like this. I hope you understand. So the DC supply to the rotor of our generator is supplied by a DC shunt generator mounted on the same shaft of the generator. Okay, so the DC generated by this DC generator is in the order of 120 to 125 to 600 volts. Okay, the order of DC supply we supply to our alternator in industry are 125 to 600 volts DC. Okay, so this DC generator will produce this much of voltage, and through commutator I am going to collect the currents, and through slip rings I am going to give DC supply to our rotor circuit. Okay, this will produce a magnetic field. Because it is DC, that will produce a stationary magnetic field. As we are rotating the rotor, the magnetic field will be rotated. Okay, that is how we are going to create a rotating magnetic field on the rotor. Okay, till now we have obtained a rotating magnetic field in the rotor. Okay, let us consider it as a silent pole synchronous generator. Okay, so here you can see it has two poles, north and south, induced by DC supply. Okay, now I have a stator winding of A and A phase. This is one single phase. Now let us see how the EMF is induced. Now as we are going to give mechanical supply to our rotor, the rotor will rotate, let us assume, in this direction. Okay, this is the direction of rotor. Now at that point of time I am going to draw the graph for voltage induced in the A and A phase. Okay, EMF induced in the A and A phase. Okay, for theta. So let us consider this as 0 degrees. Okay, the EMF induced will be like this. Okay, now I am going to rotate the rotor, and this magnetic field generated by these poles will be like this. Okay, as I rotate the rotor, this magnetic field also rotate in the air gap. Okay, I hope you understand. As I am going to rotate the rotor with our turbine or some mechanical means, so this magnetic field also rotate with respect to turbine. Okay, so this magnetic field will cut the conductor in the stationary stator. That means the magnetic field, rotor magnetic field cuts stator conductors. Okay, rotor magnetic field cuts stator conductors. Those stator conductors will be induced with some EMF. Okay, so we have got some EMF in the stator winding. Okay, this magnetic field cuts with the stator winding as it is rotating, and some EMF will be induced in the stator conductors. That EMF will be supplied to grid. Okay, so this is the operating principle. Okay, I hope you understand. The rotating magnetic field, which is supplied with mechanical energy and a DC supply, that will cuts with the stator conductors, and an EMF will be induced because of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, now let us see the waveform of our induced EMF. So far we have obtained some EMF in the stator. Okay, let us consider it for a single example. Let us consider a single phase. Okay, for A and A phase, what is the EMF? At 0 degrees, let us consider this as 0 degrees. At 0 degrees, there is no flex link to the stator conductor with respect to our rotor magnetic field. Okay, there is no flex linkage between these two. That means the EMF produced will be 0. Okay, as our rotor is rotating in this direction, okay, as it is approaching to our coil A and A dash, okay, the direction will be like this, and slowly our EMF will start inducing in the conductor A dash. Okay, so as our rotor will reach this place, okay, let us assume this is a new position of rotor. Okay, this is north pole and this is south pole. Okay, this flex will cut with the stator conductors, and that is maximum. Okay, as the air gap is minimum, the flex linkage will be maximum with respect to stator conductor. That will induce maximum EMF. Okay, now our rotor will rotate further. Okay, the magnetic field will be going away from the conductor, and it will decrease slowly. Okay, and it will decrease slowly like this. Okay, similarly, when our south pole reaches this coil A, that will become negative maximum, and the waveform will be like this. Okay, this is for A phase. Okay, if I connect another phase with 120 degrees displacement, B and B dash, okay, after 120 degrees there will be another phasor that will be like this. Okay, that will be like this. This is continuous. As it is continuous, I can write it. If I add one more winding with another 120 degrees displacement, that is C dash, that will become like this. Okay, this is 120. So after 120, this will be 90, and this will be 120. Okay, like this. Okay, this is the waveform for C dash. This is B dash. This is C dash. Okay, you can see this is a 3-phase AC supply. Can I write like this? Okay, we are going to place 3 windings A, B, C with 120 degrees facial displacement to induce 3-phase EMFs in the rotor in the stator circuit. Okay, so these 3 phases A, B and C will be taken out from the stator, and these can be connected as star or delta. As they are 3-phase, the stator connection can be star or delta. Mostly star is used, okay, because it will induce more EMF compared to delta. Okay, so the stator winding can be connected in star or delta. Okay, and it will be supplied to our grid. Okay, I hope you understand the operation. Okay, our stator has stationary armature 3-phase winding, and rotor has a DC supply, and it will excited with a DC supply, and it will be rotated by a prime mover. Because it is rotated, the stationary magnetic field will be rotating with respect to rotor, and that links with the stator conductors. According to electromagnetic induction, an EMF will be induced in the stator that will be supplied to grid. Okay, once a load is connected to our generator, there will be a current flow. Okay, this current flow will be depending upon the load power factor, the power factor of the load. Okay, this current will depend on the load power factor. Okay, sorry, the power factor will depend on the load of the machine. If it is inductive, the power factor will be less. If the load is capacitive, the power factor will be high. Okay, so that we will be discussing in armature reaction. Okay, I hope you understand the working principle of our synchronous generator. Okay, so this is how we are going to generate 3-phase supply in our alternators. Okay, so let us consider A phase. Okay, this is A phase, B phase, C phase, right? Okay, so let us consider one full cycle of EMF of A phase. This is EMF, right? Okay, so to generate one full cycle of EMF, okay, here to generate one full cycle of EMF in this A and A bar, so here first north pole is coming, then south pole is coming. That means one pair of pole are rotating past this conductor to generate one full cycle. I hope you understand. Okay, one cycle of EMF is produced when a pair of poles passes past a conductor. Okay, then number of cycles of EMF per revolution dependent on pair of poles. Okay, this is thing. Okay, number of cycles per revolution of EMF is dependent on pair of poles. So the more is a pair of poles, the more will be the cycles. So that is the idea. Okay, for one cycle, two poles has to be past one conductor. That is the meaning of that expression. Then number of, this is for one revolution, for number of cycles per revolution is dependent quantity of first pair of poles, that is given the pair of poles means P by 2, number of poles by 2 into our revolution speed, revolution in second, revolution per second. Okay, number of cycles of revolution, sorry, the number of cycles per revolution, the EMF generated, number of cycles per revolution of EMF generated equal to pair of poles into revolutions per second. Okay, that will be equal to P by 2. What is the number of revolution? That is speed of the machine in RPS. Okay, if we convert this speed into RPM, the cycles per revolution is nothing but frequency, that will become NS into P by, if I convert this into RPM, that will become 1 by 60, this will become RPM. Okay, that will be 60 into 2, that will become frequency equal to NS into P by 120. Okay, so this is important, where F is the frequency of our induced EMF, frequency of induced EMF. Okay, where F is the frequency of induced EMF and NS is the speed of the machine. This is called synchronous speed. Okay, the machine has to rotate at this speed only to generate this much of EMF. Okay, and P is number of magnetic field poles, number of field poles. Okay, in this number of field poles are 2. I hope you understand. Okay, so far we have covered with working principle and frequency of EMF generated. Okay, to generate one cycle of EMF, two poles have to pass through one conductor. So that is the idea. Okay, in the next class we will be discussing armature reaction. Okay, thank you.